Ball don't curve, huh?
Okay guys, this is probably going to be the highlight of the day for us. We're here with Jamie Sadlowski. Jamie, good to see you.
My pleasure.
Really good Canadian boy, so we obviously wanted to spend some time with Jamie talking equipment and what he has in the bag. Obviously Jamie's transition from being a world champion long drive competitor into being a tournament player is going to mean a completely new set of sticks.
Yep, no question.
So we're going to just let Jamie run through the equipment with us. He's signed with Cleveland Strixon, and he's got a bit of a kind of mixed bag in here of Cleveland and Strixon products. So let's run through it from top to bottom.
Yep. So first of all, the driver, the new Launcher HB
Yep.
driver, flex fin technology,
Sure.
cup face. One thing we're going to notice is a glue-in hosel.
Definitely.
So
Not adjustable
no,
like
not
most of
adjust-
the other drivers
yeah.
you see.
And one thing, I've had my greatest success with glue-in clubs, from winning 2 world championships with glue-in jobs. I mean, it's just something to be said. I think
Right.
with the more speed you create, the more torque, and I think with the cog system, to me, it wasn't as consistent as your typical old-fashioned
Yeah,
glue-in
it's
head.
a variable that at your
Yep.
speed, you don't even want to second guess that variable.
No question.
Okay.
So with the technology, the ball speeds are up, but the one thing that I've noticed is a way bigger hitting area,
Right.
but the missed hits are a lot straighter.
Right.
And that for me is huge. I mean, we don't always center punch it, so when you can
That's
play
it.
miss,
Yeah,
it's obviously beneficial.
without a doubt. And even going back to the technology, and HB, Launcher HB stands for high bore. So
Yep.
going back to high bore technology and the original high bore with the tall face and the
Yep.
sort of scoop out the back, it was all about vertical gear effect.
Yep.
Okay, so when we changed the strike point, so those hits high in the face, when the CG's so low, we get the upward tilt, we get the lower spin, and that's what everyone's looking for, that high launch, low spin ball flight.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
again, a high launch driver. This is actually 7.25 degrees.
Wow.
Just because it's a high launch driver, a lot of speed, the more speed you create, the higher you're gonna hit it. So
No
we've
question.
turned the loft down. I also like to look at it a little bit open. I like fading it when I'm playing.
Without a doubt.
We got the nunchuck.
Shaft-wise, yep, nunchuck.
Nunchuck.
Tell us a little bit about that. That's one that our viewers will not be familiar with.
Yep.
Weight-wise, it's heavy, isn't
So
it?
it's 104 grams.
Yep.
It's counterbalance, so it doesn't really feel that
little
heavy.
bit of a balance point down at the handle.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And I've been in this shaft probably 5-6 years now and just haven't been able to get out of it. It's one of those shafts that it's made for a guy that swings at 90 miles
Yep.
an hour. It's made for a guy that swings at 150.
Right,
So
right.
it's very stable. It loads good. And just my dispersion is much tighter than any other shaft I've tried.
There just aren't that many shafts out there for you.
There's really not.
That's
I mean,
the problem, isn't it?
especially with driver shafts, the one thing I had to do is I take, like a TX, Tour X, and
Right.
having to tip it 2
2
inches.
inches,
You lose
stiffen
the
it up, yep.
Characteristics of the shaft doesn't
Yep.
load the same. So this goes straight in. You just butt trim it.
Yep.
Stiff as hell. That's the
Awesome.
way I like it.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna notice that is the only wood in the bag.
So this isn't an additional head cover. This is just on top of an alignment stick.
Yep.
There's one wood in Jamie's bag, and there's a reason why.
The UT, the Utility 65. This
Yep.
is. It says 18. I got it bent down to 16.
Stronger a
So
little
a
bit.
little strong. So
Okay.
that would be kind of my acting almost 4 wood.
For sure. What shaft have you got in that one, Jamie?
This is the KBS prototype 105X. This one
Beautiful.
is tipped to 2 inches.
Right.
That just helps flat it down for me. I hit a lot of flat shots off the tee. These are both kind of teeing golf clubs.
I was going to say, you probably wear these two out.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, the distance these go, how far does 2 iron or?
I'll carry that probably about 290 yards.
Okay, so it's roll with run, it's your 300-yard club.
No question.
Okay, good.
And obviously flat, very easy to control.
Yep.
Then we roll into the 3 iron, 20 degrees. This one I have, it's also a teeing club, but there's times where I have to hit 2 iron off the tee on a par 5.
For sure.
And this allows me to hit it high enough to hold the green.
Right.
So versus your just a standard 3 iron, a little higher launch, a little more spin, just to be
Right.
able to hold greens.
Very cool.
X7's in here.
Okay,
Everything.
yep, True Temper X7 is pretty much as stiff as it comes.
Yep.
When we're looking at, X100, people think that's a pretty stiff shaft. We're looking at a shaft that's twice as stiff in the butt, 3 times as stiff in the tip in the X7. So, I
Yep.
mean, there's a very select group of players who can play that, and that's obviously made for someone like you.
Yeah, obviously a high spin
speed,
player,
yeah,
high
yeah.
speed, high spin. So
Right.
that allows me to keep the spin
Cool.
down. And then I go 4 through wedge
Yeah.
in the 965s.
Love
So
it.
I've never played a blade iron full
Really?
until this year.
Interesting.
These went straight in the bag. Not your typical blade iron to me. I mean, they're very forgiving, big hitting area. It's not like you're gonna cut your hand pulling these out of the bag. They're
No
not your
doubt, no.
prototypical blade. They're a player's club, but you know, they're also forgiving. And for me, I'm able to hit different shots with them a lot easier than having a big cavity back.
Right.
And I've played a cavity back for a lot of years now, but these I find, you know, it's easier to hit shots.
You're able to shape it a little bit better, right, left,
Yeah,
up and down, change your flight.
Exactly, and
Okay.
it seems like it's subtle shapes and not the big loops and not the big cuts. It's just very subtle.
And there's so much technology built into that. I mean, you've got the VT sole, you've got, you know, obviously that's just the turf interaction.
Yep.
You know, we talk, Jamie, a lot about, you know, forgiveness where it's found. It's found across the face on mishits, but it's also found through the turf. I mean, you can lose a lot of ball speed by the club heading too much down that way.
You want something digging and getting through the ground.
It's in and out as quick as you can.
Yeah,
okay?
and especially with me, I mean, anyone that's a high-speed player, I don't know too many that are very shallow. So
Right.
that, I mean, they get through the ground beautifully. Nothing
Cool.
sticks in the ground.
So you've got them through to the short irons.
Yep, and then we go gap wedge. These are the RTX3 wedges.
Yep, use those myself.
Yeah,
Yep.
50 degree. These have X1s in them, so a little softer, a little more feel.
Yeah.
But 50 degree, 56, and then 60 with a C grind.
Yep.
And that's kind of a pretty
Beautiful.
standard setup.
Without a doubt. And you went to X100 because when you're hitting those partial shots, you don't want to. You're not loading it the same way.
Exactly.
So you want that feel
Yeah.
on those partial shots.
You
That's
still
important.
want to have feel.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't do is I don't go real soft with my 60 degree.
Okay.
One thing that that I do fairly well is I chip the ball pretty good. I got pretty good hands.
I saw that. Jamie was hitting a few pitches warming up there, and they got a really good touch.
Yeah,
That's
so-
probably the one thing people don't expect of you.
I mean,
isn't
people
it?
always ask me,
Yeah.
what do you like about playing golf, practicing? I mean, I love chipping. Chipping to me is, there's an art to it. Anyone can hit a driver, stand up there and hammer it.
Yeah.
But for me, little feel shots, little chip shots,
Awesome.
high shots, low shots.
Okay.
So I've messed around with, S4s in there. And,
Yeah.
I still do hit some full shots with that, so I don't want too much spin. But
Well, how far
X1s,
does 60 go in a full swing?
I probably carry number 118. That's
Right.
as far as I'll
Okay.
hit it, just because
Yeah.
we start talking about different windows and different spin.
When you apply too much speed to that, then it starts going too
Yeah.
high, and you start missing your flight window.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
And then the other big part that we're missing is the golf
The
ball.
golf ball.
The XV
Huge.
golf ball. For me, spin is a huge thing, and I've been able to kill a lot of spin with three-quarter shots, flight the ball. The ball is incredible in the wind. I mean, we've had a strong wind here today.
It's a tough day.
And you can hit shots that, I've been playing the ball for about a month now, and you hit shots that, you might have shut the face a little bit, and you see it hooking, and you're like, oh man, and then the ball, it does its initial curving and
Yeah.
then stops.
Holds its line a little bit easier.
It really does.
Love it.
And being able to go, get to a back pin, under the gun and hitting a flighted shot that is going to react the way you want it to. I mean, the ball's been absolutely incredible. Ball and driver combos, very, very sick.
And that's so important, isn't it, to match those up to what you're looking for performance-wise, but feel-wise as well. You're a
Yep.
player, you've got 14 tools in the bag, and you've
Yep.
got to enjoy the performance with all of them, and then the ball's the other variable to the whole thing. So
No question, ball's so important.
Phenomenal. Okay, so Jamie, this year you've got status on Mackenzie Tour. Going to be playing out there.
Yeah, I'll play a full year out there again. Hopefully, grab one of those 5 web cards.
Without a doubt.
And that's last year was my first full year playing, so I've got some more experience.
Yeah.
Very confident. From 6 months till now, my game's a lot better. Been working with my coach Peter Costas hard, and we're dialing inside 150 yards, and mental strategy and how to play a golf course, and just
It's
kind
a
of
big change, isn't it?
rounding it out. Yeah, it's
going from being someone who's a long drive competitor and it's one in the grid. I mean, you were different, I suppose, from the other guys because people could see the technical, qualities of your
Yeah.
swing. You're always such a good technical player on the grid. You would put more balls in the grid than any of them.
Yeah.
And you were the quickest out of any of them,
Yeah.
so it was just getting that strike.
Exactly. So I've always been a pretty
Yeah.
good ball striker.
For sure.
It's gotten a lot better now.
Good.
Just the work that I've done, clean up the backswing a little bit, get a little more on plane, get the club on plane coming down,
Love it.
and just having the ability to hit cuts now. I mean, before with long drive, club comes inside, swinging out to the right, you're timing a flip hook.
And that's what you want when you're swinging long drive.
Yeah.
You want it moving out and up.
No
To
question.
get those launch conditions, the high launch, low spin,
Yep.
different lofted driver, obviously length. The
Yep.
club's going to travel more from behind you.
No question.
Yeah.
So, I went from being just a constant drawer of the ball to I prefer playing, hitting fades when I play now.
Of course, yeah, you've got so much speed. You've got speed to give away.
Yeah.
So,
No question. And
gain the control.
And there's one thing about hitting a fade, and there's one thing about hitting a fade that's got some pop on it. So I've been able to do that with my coach, and yeah, it's very excited about what's coming up this year.
Very cool. Well, I mean, as a Canadian, we're pulling hard for you,
Thank
and
you.
we'll be following you all season, and we really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you got it.
Thanks,
My pleasure.
Jamie.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.